Stop. If a dealer hands you a ruby and swears it is untreated, do not pay a single dollar until you run 2 tests. A BelOMO 10-power triplet loupe, $45, will show you gas bubbles and blue-orange flashes inside the fractures of a glass-filled fake. A Convoy C8 UV lamp at 365 nanometers, $33, will light up cedar oil hiding inside an emerald's cracks like a yellowish-green roadmap. Those 2 tools, $78 total, would have saved Benjamin Hakimi $15,000 in 2010. He walked into a New York retailer, paid $15,000 for a ruby ring, and walked out with a lead glass composite worth about $1,000. The retailer replaced it. The replacement was also glass-filled. 2 stones, same scam, same shop. By the end of this video, you will know the water immersion method, the acetone wipe test, and the hot needle test that professional dealers in the Antwerp Diamond District use every single day to separate a $1,000 fraud from a $45,000 natural stone. The next victim does not have to be you. Nobody was paying attention to this problem in the early days. Dealers in Antwerp, Bangkok, and Tucson all knew the tricks, but the buyers just saw the sparkle. I trained in the Antwerp Diamond District, where the back rooms hold stones that never reach the tourist cases. The Federal Trade Commission requires disclosure of any treatment that is not permanent, needs special care, or drops the value. But walk the trade floor at Tucson or Siloam Road in Bangkok, and you will see how often that rule gets bent. The American Gem Trade Association codes every treatment: F for filling, H for heating, D for diffusion, and C for coating. The GIA grades emerald oiling as F1, F2, or F3. But none of that protects you if you cannot spot the signs with your own hands. Glass-filled rubies. I see these everywhere, from Bangkok's Siloam Road tourist traps to the back tables at the Tucson Gem Show. The process is brutal in its simplicity. Low-grade ruby gets cleaned with acid, then heated to between 900 and 1100 degrees Celsius. Molten lead glass, 43 to 76% lead oxide by weight, flows into every surface reaching fracture. The refractive index of that glass sits between 1.7 and 1.8, close enough to corundum's 1.762 that the fill nearly disappears to the naked eye. But under a 10-power loupe, you will see blue or orange flashes from thin film interference at the glass corundum boundary. Gas bubbles cluster at the fill edges like tiny trapped air pockets. The treatment is not permanent. Lemon juice dissolves it. Hot water eats it. An ultrasonic cleaner will leave you with a pitted, worthless mess. Retail price for glass-filled? $10 to $200 per carat. A natural untreated ruby of the same size runs $1,000 to $45,000 or more. And somehow, the geology gets even stranger when you realize 90% of rubies on the open market carry this treatment. Oiled emeralds. If you think you're buying a natural emerald with perfect clarity, you are dreaming. Almost every commercial emerald on Earth is clarity enhanced. Cedar oil has a refractive index of 1.515, close to emerald's 1.577, so it hides the fractures well. The GIA grades oiling as F1 for minor, F2 for moderate, and F3 for significant. F3 oiling drops the value by 50% or more compared to F1. Opticon is a hardened epoxy resin, more permanent but less accepted in the trade. Take a Convoy C8 UV lamp, $33, and shine it at 365 nanometers. Cedar oil fluoresces yellowish to orangey yellow inside the cracks. Water immersion displaces the oil, making the fracture network stand out like a roadmap drawn in white ink. Retail for a heavily oiled emerald? $100 to $3,000 per carat. A clean, minimally treated stone. $1,000 to $30,000 per carat. That gap is the cost of not owning a UV lamp. If you want more field guides, exact coordinates, and the tools I use in the dirt every week, subscribe to the channel now. I cover stones like these every single video. Diffusion-treated sapphires. This one is a special kind of heartbreak because the stone looks perfect until you know where to look. Starting in the early 2000s, Thai treatment facilities began diffusing titanium or beryllium into pale sapphires at temperatures above 1800 degrees Celsius. Titanium creates a surface-only color that pools at the facet edges and girdle. Immerse the stone in methylene iodide, and the color concentrates at the edges like paint settling into the grooves of a coin. Beryllium penetrates deeper into the crystal lattice, and detecting it requires laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy at 0.3 to 0.8 parts per million near the surface. On January 8, 2002, Ken Scarrett at the AGTA Gem Testing Center issued a lab alert that saved the American market from being flooded with these stones at natural prices. But the damage was already spreading. Prices for untreated sapphires collapsed. Montana and Sri Lanka mining regions watched their markets evaporate overnight. The fallout forced the Federal Trade Commission to update its jewelry guides in 2010, requiring stricter disclosure of diffusion treatments. Retail for diffusion-treated sapphire was $20 to $200 per carat. Untreated or heat-only sapphires range from $300 to $20,000 or more. If you see color pooling at the facet edges, walk away. Coated mystic topaz. This one is a favorite for TV shopping channels and tourist traps because it looks exotic under studio lights. Start with a piece of white topaz worth $3 to $5 per carat. Coat it with a titanium oxide film using chemical vapor deposition, just 0.1 to 0.5 microns thick. The result is a rainbow iridescence that catches every eye in the display case. But the coating scratches off with normal wear, especially on ring stones where your hand hits a door frame or a steering wheel. Take a cotton swab soaked in acetone, $5 for a bottle of nail polish remover, and rub an inconspicuous spot. Watch the rainbow dissolve. Wholesale cost for a finished mystic stone is under $5 per carat. I have seen these sold for $50 or more to buyers who thought they were getting something rare. Dyed crackle quartz, sold as strawberry quartz, blueberry quartz, or watermelon quartz. None of these are real mineral varieties. The process starts with clear quartz, heated to 400 to 600 degrees Celsius, then quenched in cold water to shatter the interior into a web of fractures. The cracked stone is soaked in dye, red, blue, green, whatever color sells that season. Under a 10-power loupe, you will see dye concentrated in the fracture lines like ink pooling in the cracks of old concrete. Leave it in direct sunlight and the color fades. Rub it with acetone and the dye transfers to the swab. Retail price? $1 to $5 per carat. If you see a quartz with wild saturated color and a spiderweb of internal cracks, you are looking at a dyed fake that cost someone pennies to produce. This decision seemed small at the time. It was not. In 2004, U.S. Customs began seizing undisclosed beryllium-diffused sapphires and glass-filled rubies at the Tucson Gem Show, America's largest gem trade event. The seizures exposed how deep the problem ran. Dealers who had been importing treated stones without disclosure faced penalties, financial ruin, and permanent reputational damage. The Tucson show became ground zero for industry reform. But the scam that still costs the most money per victim runs year-round in Bangkok. Organized tuk-tuk drivers deliver tourists to government gem sales on Siloam Road, selling treated and synthetic stones at 10 to 50 times their actual value. Thai police estimate the operation pulls in over $100 million annually. Anna from Australia lost $400. Matte from the United States lost thousands. The shops rebrand constantly to avoid detection. The gems get mailed to the victim's home country to prevent immediate appraisal. Heated citrine. 95% of commercial citrine started life as purple amethyst, heated to between 470 and 560 degrees Celsius until the iron impurities shift from purple to orange. Natural citrine is pale, smoky yellow and genuinely rare. Heated amethyst turns a burnt orange-brown that natural citrine never shows. The telltale sign is a white base, visible through the table facet, a remnant of the original amethyst color zoning. If the color looks too saturated or too uniform, it is almost certainly treated. Retail for heated citrine, $2 to $10 per carat. Natural citrine, $10 to $30 per carat. And good luck finding verified specimens. Reconstituted turquoise. Genuine turquoise is porous, soft on the Mohs scale, 5 to 6, and often too fragile for jewelry without stabilization. So dealers grind it into powder, sometimes mixing in howlite or straight plastic filler, blend it with resin, and compress it into blocks. The result has too perfect color uniformity, no natural matrix variation, and a specific gravity as low as 2.21 compared to natural turquoise's 2.6 to 2.9. The hot needle test is the giveaway. Heat a sewing needle with a lighter and touch an inconspicuous spot. If you smell burning plastic or see the surface soften, it is reconstituted. This fraud is rampant in the American Southwest, especially in Native American artisan markets where buyers trust the cultural provenance. Retail for reconstituted, $1 to $10 per carat. Natural high-grade turquoise, $100 to $1,000 or more. Every field test I have described costs less than $80 total. A BelOMO 10-power loupe for $45. A Convoy C 8 UV lamp for $33. A bottle of acetone for $5. A glass of water. A sewing needle and a lighter. These tools will outlast your boots, and they will save you from the kind of loss that Benjamin Hakimi felt when he realized his $15,000 ruby dissolved in lemon juice. The market runs on disclosure, but disclosure depends on honesty. In the end, it is your loupe, your UV lamp, and your 30 seconds of testing that stand between you and a stone that lies. The rocks never lie. People do. And the ones who know the tests are the ones who walk away with the real finds.